Hey everyone, and welcome to another video of the Buster Monkey. How are you guys doing? Summer is here and I'm slowly boiling in my apartment, but I finally got some time to put together a new video. As you can see from the title, today we're gonna be dealing with backlit subject, but of course I'm gonna fit some generic info about lighting, composition and colors and whatever. As always, I try to be specific in my videos, but of course I have to be also a little bit generic every time because there are so many things to cover, and for you guys following me while I paint, of course I have to solve a lot of problems, so I try to give you as many information as I can. Bear with me please. Before we start, I just want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't yet and you like my work. So down here. Yes. Okay, let's go. Starting from the sketch this time, the idea was already pretty clean in my head. You see at the end that actually the result follows the sketch pretty closely. The format is a little unusual, it's vertical and tall like that, but here comes my first point about getting out of the comfort zone, even in the aspect ratio of your painting. Don't be afraid of experimenting and find new solution, and force yourself actually to find new solution on where to put the subject, how to deal with the lighting and the storytelling that you would have told in a more comfortable way in your cool horizontal cinematic composition. How would you do it actually in a situation like this? As usual, I start masking every component of the painting, so the couch, the window, the curtains, the flower, everything, the walls, everything is separated, so to have the maximum control as always. And as the title of this video is all about backlit subjects, I knew that the window would have been the biggest problem / component of the painting that I had to be careful with. So actually what we see out of the window is also very important. How many details, how much clarity we have on what's out there. So at this stage I didn't really pay too much attention to that. I was just painting what I had in mind, so some nature, some green, without caring too much about the sketch. As you can see, the layer is off right now. When you deal with a backlit subject, you have to understand lighting very well and understand how to control it, because it can be a mess. You can see too much, you can see too little. So it's good to step back and understand why you're making this particular painting. In this one, for example, I knew that the result would have not been a photorealistic result. I want actually be able to print this one with still see something in the dark areas. You will see at the end that even the darkest areas are not completely black as the way that you might think it could be realistic, because I knew that I wanted to see still details in there. With that said, and with knowing that that's the goal for this painting, I knew that the brighter areas would have been very bright, and definitely the main source of lighting, they would have had bouncing lights all over the room and also lighting our subjects a little bit in front. So again, it's all a matter of controlling the light and the storytelling of your painting, knowing what's going on, and you don't always have to be realistic. If it doesn't bother the eyes, it means that it works good enough, and that's fine. You will see at the end of this one that everything should be readable. I'm sure it's gonna print very well in terms of values. Even if I would have shot a picture of this particular moment, probably I would have had again very bright and very dark areas, way more contrasted than how this is gonna end up being. I was spending way too much time on these curtains because from the sketch I actually didn't realize that these are actually a big part of the painting and they need to be done properly, but there was a moment where they were basically too thick and then too thin, and then I think I found a fine balance. At this stage it's very peachy, the color is actually too warm, and of course this is not gonna be the final result. Is just to paint something on it and then I would colorize everything later on a little bit. But again, at this stage I had no idea what I would end up having as a main local color for the things. I keep jumping back on these curtains because I wasn't happy yet here, so I started darker and going with bigger shapes and then going cooler, and I think it was a good foundation. It's time to complete a little bit this plant and understand if I want to add some colors in there or just the green. But at this stage I was definitely starting to understand how the light, how that big window is affecting the room. and saw how the way that they could affect the characters later on. I keep going with this plant, and I was kind of happy with where this was going. So I'm simply rendering every element a little bit, not pushing it too far, because I would keep jumping back into things. Time for this painting. As always, I never spend too much time on the secondary stuff, if it's not work. So I went for this funny subject. I have no idea what it is. You can name it if you have any idea. And again, it's in an area of the painting where your eyes shouldn't go too much. So again, don't spend too much time on things that should have been seen in the first place. Jumping on the line finally on our characters, again, going first try on how they might look. I thought I liked the silhouette of the sketch that I had, so I kept those hair, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out later how they are gonna look in a more rendered version of them. And then the couch, time for that couch. I had a lot of fun actually rendering that couch. I don't know why. The velvet is super fun. But here is the main texture. I thought that the wall was kind of empty, so I was like, why not? I need some sort of pattern that goes towards all the flat surfaces. So yeah, I just created a very quick one and played with it. It's kind of like a fancy house, you know, with those 70s, 80s textures that you would find inside houses. I don't know why I went for it, but it was fun. I started to fill up the shapes for the characters because, okay, the lighting, I was pretty happy with the values. Of course, I'm gonna still touch it up a little bit towards the end, but I was pretty happy, so I was like, okay, it's time to figure out how they're gonna behave in this particular situation. Local color is pretty important here, but I don't wanna make them dark or just silhouette. I knew that there would have had a lot of light bouncing on them from the walls, from the floor, from everything. That was enough for now, so I jumped on this drawer and I started rendering it without having too many details or too many distractions for your eye, because I want you to look on the right and not on the left. So it's just supporting the composition to drive you towards the right and not staying there. This point of view idea came out simply supporting a super simple storytelling that I thought for it, which was like basically a baby is taking a photo with a phone from the ground. Clean and pretty house, and of course a big prominent window that would be a big element for the painting. This was all I had in mind when I went work for this, but as you can see right now, I'm detailing even the front part of them, of their faces. So don't do the mistake of doing them too dark or not thinking that they are actually catching lights from all over the place, as I said before. Do some details, exaggerate. This is again, this could be for a book, for animation, but it's not realistic, as I said. The point is always to sell the storytelling, know what you want to say with this painting, drive the eyes towards the right direction. This is the final result, guys. I really hope you like it. To quickly recap how to deal with a backlit subject, analyze the environment around the subject first, understand how the light is actually affecting the environment first, and then remember that light, part of that light is gonna be bouncing towards your subject. So don't go too flat. Of course, don't go too crazy with details. That's also connected to your style. If you're very flat, you might want to do a silhouette, but I would always try to suggest some little detail. Remember rim lights. Rim lights are awesome, fun to paint, and they are very crucial to also divide your subject from the background. Don't listen to the people to the artists that they say that rim lights are actually bad, because they're needed, they exist, they're real, so use them. Okay, we're done with this one, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did painting it. Don't forget to like the video if you did, and to share it to some of your friends if you think they might be interested. Please let me know what you think about it, leave a comment, let me know, and also you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, anywhere. Check out my prints on ArtStation, the link is here below. This particular painting is actually gonna join the team of those prints very soon. Thank you so much for the amazing support, my friends. I couldn't do this without you. The channel is growing fast and you guys are just awesome. So thanks. But that's it for today. I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.